Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Forza Motorsport World Tour, and we've made our way here to Mount Panorama in Australia at the Bathurst circuit. We'll be doing a circuit race. There's only one type of race, Mount Panorama, and that is the full circuit. There's no other options, so therefore, being as it's a full circuit, we're only going to do 5 laps. As mentioned, it will be at noon and the weather will be random and time progression will be rolling. We're running on driver difficulty or driver tar difficulty 8, designs on, and 23 driver tars. It'll all be in Division E with any car division allowed within the E and any power allowed. We're on expert rules. Grid ordering will be random. And this will be the same for all races. The club circuits or the shorter circuits will be 10 laps, but this one's going to be 5 laps, and we accept all. So here we are, making our way to the circuit. The team and the car, which is going to be the Ginetta. It's looking a bit overcast, but pretty dry. And just to show you the settings that we'll be running on every race. Braking line only. For this track, I'm actually going to turn the braking line off because I know this track quite well. ABS off. Throttle unassisted. Steering normal, as mentioned. Traction control off. Stability control off. Shifting manual due to my rig. And there's all the other bits. So basically everything is on max difficulty apart from a couple of bits of minor stuff like shifting. Actually, suggested line should be off, and steering normal as opposed to simulation, because apparently that can mess with your racing wheel. So let's have it. We'll check the car, make sure we've got the right amount of fuel, etc. We don't want too much. We've got 15 laps of fuel, we don't need that. We'll bring it to 6 laps. Tyre wears at 2. We don't want that because the AI don't actually get tyre wear. For 5 laps it won't really matter anyway, to be fair. Double check that again. So we've got stock tyres. We don't have anything special there. And let's start this race and see where we end up in race number 1 of the Forza Motorsport World Tour. And here we go. And here we are on the track. We're starting almost near the back of the grid. This first lap will be in third person, but we will switch over as the race progresses. We're aiming for a top 10 finish. Currently in 5th. That's awful. Awful. Absolutely awful that was. No time penalties though, which is great. First plate has buggered right off. And so we finished the race. I've actually lapped that track a lot faster than that. 2:54 in another E-Class car. 3:02 I only managed with Janetta. But anyway, we came second. We get 9 points with no penalties. And so Australia comes to an end, and we finish with some winnings. And thank you very much for watching, and I will see you at the next one, which will be in Belgium on Spa.